The reason why you were not asked back for a second round interview, even though you and I both know that you crushed the first round, is because you may have been a victim of the horn effect and had no clue. So here is how to make sure that it never happens to you again. Hi, my name is Beverly Dines. I am a chief operating officer who's been scaling operations for over a decade in over 10 fields, and I've interviewed thousands of people. And this is how to play the corporate game, because you can't play the game if you don't know the rules. Now, there are two types of effects that hiring managers are taught in leadership trainings, recruitment training, that are often never taught to employees. The first is called the halo effect. The halo effect is a psychological phenomenon where if you as the candidate say something impressive within the first 30 seconds to 1 minute of your interview, like after finishing school at Harvard, or after working at Google, or after completing my dissertation on, you get it. Interviewers will assume that everything about you is exceptional. But in the beginning of the interview, when you are telling them about yourself, if you say anything that could be perceived as negative, like shaky answers on your employment gap or your career switch or why you're looking for a role, they will then assume that everything about you is problematic or a cause to pause. That's called the horn effect. Let me be very clear. There is psychological data and research all the way back to the 1920s that assert that this is a very real phenomena in the hiring market. It's so prevalent that it is a fixture of a lot of hiring manager training programs and training initiatives to prevent this bias from happening, but it still does. So here's what you're going to do to make sure that the horn effect never happens to you again. I want you to practice creating your own 30-second halo for every interview. When they ask you to tell them about yourself, you are going to lead with your strongest credentials immediately. For example, I spent 3 years at Amazon scaling operations to 300%. I published an article in the Wall Street Journal featuring my specific modality in this area. While working at insert organization here, I partnered with insert big name company here on insert process here. You get the point. And if anywhere in there is shaky, that is your sign that it could be triggering the horn effect. So as you practice, make sure that you are leading with those high impact metrics and speaking confidently about your experience. If you have an employment gap, talk about the certifications you've gotten during that time. Talk about any volunteerism that you've done with those notable organizations. And remember, this is not bragging. This is strategy, because they're already using psychology on you. We are trained to be thinking about these things in the hiring process. You just weren't taught these things until now. Remember, those first 30 seconds to 1 minute of your entry point in that interview are everything. Control the narrative before they write it for you. Start practicing your halo now and go win the game.